Bend Modifier. So I'm going to come over and create a box just for, alright, and there's my box. And now that it's selected here, I'm going to come up here to modify. I'm going to go the parametric deformers and go to bend. And so down in here is my command panel, is my bend parameters here. So I can choose and set up the bend. So I'm going to use the Alt key and pick on it. Now I have no objects listed. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the object again. And here's a second way we can do this. We can go to the command panel, go to our to our modify tab. In the modify tab, I'll come over here and I'll choose this down arrow and I'll go to object space modifiers and go to bend. Alright, so here I have the bend up here and I have the parameters here. Alright, down here is my parameters. So let's take a look at our parameters. The bend parameter here, we start with the angle, and I'm going to go with 45 for example. I'll click in. You can see it bends at 45 degrees. Now it's bending it around the bend axis is the Z by default. I could change that to the Y, or I could change that, the X or the Y. And I'll go back to Z. And you can see then that I can change the amount of bend. If I'm going to go 60 for example, all right, I get more bend then. So I also have the direction, and the direction in this case is used to define the direction of the bend. So I can change this to say to 90, and it's flipping the bend around. Alright, I'll go back to 0. Now below we have limits of the effect of the bend. When I can have an upper or lower limit. I'm going to change the upper limits to say 10. And I'm going to turn on the limit effects. You can see up to 10 units it's bending the object, and then it straightens out. So I can change, I want it to go to 25 for example. It's bending now in the first 25 units, and then after that it allows it to straighten out. So if I turn these off, right, essentially 0 is the default, which is there's no limits. So even if I put a value in there such as 20, it's not going to do anything until I turn on the limiting effect checkbox, and then it'll cause it to bend and then not to bend at some point at that limiting point. So the bend modifier allows us to bend various objects up to 360 degrees in the X, Y, and Z axes.